Welcome back to Technology Review. I'm your host, Mac Jackson Jr. Our guest spotlight today is Becky True. Hi, Becky. How are you?
Good, Mac. How are you?
All right, great. This is really good. So glad to have her here. We have a lot to talk about here for 2017 regarding technology and cyber crimes and cybersecurity. And Becky and I are going to have a conversation about some of the things to look forward to regarding predictions for 2017, as well as a technology called virtual desktop, right? Virtual stick.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So how's it been, Becky?
Good. How about you?
Very good. Very good. Happy New Year to you.
You too.
And we
Yeah.
can still say that, right?
Yeah,
Still
I guess so.
a few more days
Yeah.
left, right? In January to say that?
Yep.
Very good. Tell me a little bit about your company again so our audience will be able to know
Sure.
how about your business.
Sure. Our company is Viking Technology Partners. We do consulting and professional services for Wi-Fi. We do a lot of Wi-Fi, a lot of hospitality Wi-Fi, some retail Wi-Fi. If you got Wi-Fi, we'd probably touch it.
Yeah.
And we also do a lot of computer network architecture and a lot of, rack stack replacement work for people. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. Well, glad to have you here. So let's talk about, get into it. Let's talk about the virtual desktops. What do you think about it and what do you recommend?
Well, from a security perspective,
Mhm.
I think it's a great solution because the they're calling it desktop as a service now.
Ah,
Amazon
very good.
is. We're an Amazon web service consulting partner,
Okay.
and what Amazon has done is they've put all the computing resources in the cloud,
Mhm.
and then you can operate your desktop as if you were right there at it, but you're not. All of the resources are somewhere else, and only the pixels come over to your display device. So if you're a mortgage company or a lawyer or medical company or something like that, you have data that you don't want to go get out to the world. You can put all of that, use the desktop as a service, and all that data is securely stored and encrypted and backed up on the Amazon facilities, and what the person has available to them is just the video.
I see.
So they can't take the data. So if it gets stolen, if the device gets stolen, or if the employee says, you know what, I want to make some extra money, let me get people's social security numbers,
Yes.
they can't do it because the
Interesting.
data is not on the device.
Interesting. So that desktop as a service is definitely springing up, becoming very popular
Mhm.
with organizations because it gives the cloud services the risk in maintaining the data, right? And they're spending the thousands and sometimes millions of dollars on the racks, on the services, backing up the systems, making sure you have the right antivirus software and all that on it.
Yep.
Where a small mom and pop company or a medium-sized company, they would have those resources, right?
Right.
So those are some of the benefits of it, right?
Yeah, and I want to clarify something there.
Sure.
It's a shared model. Amazon is responsible, or any, I'm talking about Amazon, but it could be any service provider.
Right.
They have the responsibility for securing the physical, so like access
Got
to
it.
those data centers,
Yes.
the destruction of the hard drives, all the physical things they have.
Mm-hmm.
But if you set up your Active Directory wrong, it's on you.
Correct. Yes, definitely makes sense. Well, this falls in line with things we talk about in the show about policies and procedures. So now you can have your policy set up where some of the risk can be transferred now to a third party, if
Right.
you would, like Amazon and other companies that are out there alike. So yeah, that's a really interesting idea. Do you see that field growing, or a lot of people requesting it, having that type of access?
I think what's going on with the cloud in general right now is I think people understand that that's where things are going to end up.
Sure.
They're trying to figure out how to get there, and also that the people, the skills
Yes.
to support not only the transition to the cloud, but once you're in the cloud, the skills are slightly different. Now, the skills that, in my opinion, that people have to do system administrative work are very much transfer, but it's that
sense.
angst that comes along with change, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
That's true. Yeah, change is very, very hard. And there's so many options to choose from too. So now you have a company and they're trying to figure out which solution should they do that's going to give the protection. a lot of companies are still warm, if you would, to make that jump,
Right,
right?
right.
Secure making that particular type of jump.
Well, and it's also a different financial model from CapEx to OpEx.
Right.
So you don't have to lay out all the capital for upgrading your servers and upgrading your desktops and all these things.
Yes, yes.
You can, people could use their own device. They could bring
Yes.
their own laptop. They could bring their own iPad or whatever they want to use, and you have no problem with it because that data doesn't go on the device.
Doesn't reside in the device. So I can use any of their smart devices to access their data.
Yes.
Which is great.
It
Yeah,
is.
Yeah, that is.
And it really lowers the costs to operate, and certainly, if you have capital, you probably have things that, we all here in the IT world, right?
Yes.
We don't want to spend capital on
That's right.
your junk. We want to spend it on something else.
Yes, and marketing and sales and
Right,
R&D, right?
right,
Yeah.
right. Not you
in
guys.
Not in
Yeah,
IT.
yeah.
That's true. That's true. And that's why it's hard for the C-level people to understand what we do in IT, right? And invest.
It's not junk.
Yeah, it's not junk. Invest in what we do.
Yeah.
Interesting. Our next topic I'm going to talk to you about the predictions for 2017. A lot of cybersecurity researchers are talking about what to expect as far as cyber crimes, like identity theft and fraud, and other data breaches that are going on. So we just had a major data breach from Yahoo, right? 1.5 billion accounts being hit from Yahoo, and there are predictions that there will be other companies that will go through data breaches. So a lot of companies are thinking, wow, which way should we turn? If these large corporations are getting breached, how would a small company be protected? Ransomware, we were talking a little bit earlier about ransomware and the predictions that ransomware will now start affecting the cloud. Right now it's individual
Right.
workstations, right?
Right.
So you have ransomware on 4 or 5 PCs in an organization and maybe not affect the others. But now if ransomware can turn itself into a worm, right, be a part of a worm, it can affect the whole cloud.
Right.
And that means all the companies are on there.
Right.
So it's really interesting to see how that's going to happen. I'm understanding there are lots of companies that are out there developing anti-ransomware
Yeah.
software, right?
Right. Well, it's a great place to
Sure.
be, right? Because the ransomware is so scary. If you, we saw a lot of hospitals getting hit last
Yes.
year, and little places too. And it's just easier for the smaller places just to pay the money. In fact, the hospital paid the money too.
Yeah, that was really
because there's
unfortunate.
nothing you can do about it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
if you don't have good backups,
That's right.
there isn't much you can do about it.
True, and folks, when we say backups, we don't mean the end-of-day backups. We're talking almost like every 5 minutes or every 2-minute backups, which can be very daunting if you're not sure what you're doing, right? So yeah, this really different world we're getting into as far as
Right.
backing up and restoring.
So I think that's a great space to be in, of course, because the threat is so large,
Right.
and the damage so complete that the appetite is out there. People will pay a lot of money not to get ransomed.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, so that's one of the predictions was ransomware. The other one, they were talking about there will be an increase in the employees, the dreaded disgruntled employee,
Right.
within
Right.
an organization. We talk a lot about the threats coming from foreign countries and alike being a part of data breach, data security, but one of the things we really need to be concerned with is that dreaded disgruntled employee. If someone doesn't like their job, they can create havoc within the organization before they leave.
Right. Sometimes after.
Yeah, sometimes after, right?
Yep.
So when someone gives their 2 weeks notice in an organization, well, they may need to make it even quicker than that to get them out of there, right?
Right.
Need to have processes and policies behind that employees. Becky, what I'd like to do, I'd like to keep you in for a next segment as
Yep.
well. So I want to
Okay.
talk about tech gadgets, and it's good to always have you here. So I want to
Okay.
talk about some of these and get your opinion on some of the gadgets we have out there for cybersecurity.
All right.
Why don't you give the audience one more time how to get a hold of you?
You can reach us at our website at vikingtech.consulting, or if you want to email us, contact@vikingtech.consulting.
Very good, very good. And for our show here, Technology Review, I'd like everyone to go to my website, macjacksonjr.com, and join our Protection Connection community, folks. We're going to have an online community of members where we're going to have clips and interviews like with Becky and other sponsors on information that you can learn and you can have access to right away 24/7 on protecting your business from identity theft and fraud. We'll be right back with Technology Review after these messages.